Go live, going live. All right. Looks like we are good to go everywhere. So welcome everyone to our Friday Q&A. We're so happy to have you here and with us to answer your questions about Kung Fu, martial arts, health and wellness, and obviously anything that piques your curiosity within reason. Okay, don't get too crazy on us. I'm your host, CJ Jamie. I have Sifu Fu here, and Sifu Larry is running around here somewhere. Oh, here he is. He's even repping today. Look at that. Look at that. If you want to get some awesome merch like we have.
Mine looks faded.
If you want to get some awesome merch like this to be able to show your support for Enter Shaolin and your love for Kung Fu, you can go to entershaolin.com/shop. You know, as you can see, there's a hood if you want. We also, yeah, no hood, no good. But we do have shirts and long tees without hoods in case you're not into the hoods. But if you are, we have plenty of stuff. We've got zip-up hoodies, pullover hoodies. We've got beanie hats and backpacks and all kinds of crazy stuff. So coffee mugs or tea, depending on what you like to drink. You can do that as well. So we got a lot of cool stuff.
Morning, Carla.
Hey, Carla, how's it going? And let's see who we have on with us already. Let's see, we have currently Jim, Melanie, Bob, Scott, and Terry. I know some people will be rolling in here in a little bit too. So as we see people coming in, Terry, super, and Scott too. So excited to see you guys soon here at the seminar. And really quick, I want to talk about that for those of you that have been kind of sitting on the fence and not sure if you're going to come yet or not. I left up the extended sale price up for today. I'm pulling it off after today. It's also the last day to save on getting your hotel room at the discounted Enter Shaolin group rate. All that information can be found at entershaolin.com/seminar. Choose the Washington, D.C. one. In there, you'll see all the details. You'll see the link to register for the hotel. You'll see our training schedule. You'll see close airports, all that stuff. I leave no stone unturned. I try to make it super easy for you guys and gals to make your travel plans. At the very bottom of that page, you'll see where you can register for the event. You can either choose the 2-day option or the VIP 3-day option. And the VIP primarily is for people that are looking to get certified to teach Nodak Na. Though we've had people that don't want to teach that join that because they want that extra training. They want to know how to teach it to a training partner and just, you know, have that extra, you know, detail in their training. So we've had some people do that, but I would say 98% of the people that join as a VIP member are ones that are choosing to do so because they actually want to. Sorry about that. I had a phone call coming through. Hey, we're back. Okay, so long story short, the VIP, most of those people are people that actually want to become teachers one day and do this, whether it's in their retirement or for a living. So that's what the VIP is for, in case anyone's curious about what that's about. We have some really great prices. It's actually a lot more affordable than last year or even the seminar that we put on early in the year. So if you haven't checked it out yet, today is the last day to get the discounts and to get signed up. And then next week is the last day to register, period, for the event, but you will miss out on the actual hotel discount. And just to let you guys and gals know, if you do for the hotel, you don't need the money right now. It's just a reservation and you pay when you get there. So you're just putting it on reserve and then you'll pay when you get there. And if for some reason you need to cancel it, they do give you a 72-hour cancellation window. So that is really cool. Hey, Bob, we have had a pretty good week. It's been a little crazy. We've been ordering lots of different things. We're trying to get all the equipment together to be able to live stream our seminar. And so hopefully by next week, mid-next week, we'll have all the gear in. And then we have to do a lot of learning and playing around and testing out stuff. So that's another thing that we're working on for the seminar, is to be able to make it where if someone wants to be a part of it, but you know, they can't afford to maybe, you know, do the flight and the hotel and stuff like that, that they'll be able to join us from the comfort of their own home. So we are working on figuring that all out for those of you that could not physically come. So anything you want to add about the seminar?
Come. I mean, it's one thing to see things on video. It's another to feel the energy. And when you feel the energy, it's going to be very different. If you don't have a partner, you're going to come, you're going to work with all these different people and you're going to feel different types of energy. And then that's going to really help you to grow, because once you understand how your energy is supposed to work in your body, you can build from that.
Yeah.
And so You need to come for the purpose of just really getting the feel, and then from that you can develop that. So if you don't have a partner, and even if you did, seriously, you want to come anyways, because in order to get better, you need someone better to help you get better. And you know, the website's going to help you do that. But the physical training of the feeling is going to really make the difference. And once you get that feel, you can build on that. Like I said, that's going to be the foundation of which you are going to be able to improve from. You know, knowledge is one thing. Then the application of that knowledge becomes experience. So, but in order to get that experience, you need to learn to get the feel with it. So,
absolutely.
You know, we're going to be really working on the feel and the technique and principles, the timing and stuff like that. And honestly, I'm very a stickler when it comes to being very, very, very refined and everything like that. So I'm going to make sure that you do it right. I'm going to make sure you get everything done. We're going to do pressure testing, and then you're going to actually feel right from wrong. And so that's going to be your method in which you can start developing techniques from, and say, oh, I know how it feels to be right now. I know where wrong is now. And under a pressure test, I can see where my body's energy is going, and I know how to fix it now. And so you're going to be able to build from that with all the other new techniques that you're going to learn, because you have a foundation feel. And that's what we want you guys to have.
Yeah. And we also had a member that wrote in that said that she was, one of our sisters, she said that she didn't feel like she was ready to come to a seminar yet. And I wrote back to her. I haven't heard back from her yet because it was later in the evening and stuff when I wrote to her. So I'm waiting to hear back from her. Just find out why she feels like she's not ready. Because if you guys and gals think like you have to know everything that we're covering, it's not true.
I have an answer for that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So I had a student that did Tai Chi, and he said he was going to take hours when he was ready. And you know what I told him? I said, you're never going to be ready.
You're never going to be ready.
You just got to come ready. And that's the idea. You're never going to be ready, because what's your standard of saying I'm ready? When you're a certain physical conditioning, no, you just got to come ready, because you got to come like you're soft clay, because when you're there, we're there to mold you.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to come when you're already molded.
No.
You're supposed to come when you're flexible, so we can mold you. So
and help you get better faster too.
You can't come.
There's no
you can't be ready to go. You just gotta come ready, and that's really the key. You can't say, oh, when I'm stronger, I can do this. No. When you're training to grow. You're not supposed to come there with a specific standard of being able to do 100 push-ups, 100 pull-ups, this and this. You can do 5 pull-ups and 5 push-ups, and it doesn't matter, because if we can get you to do 6 or 7 by the time you leave, then it was good. You've learned, you've grown, and now you can have a building block to continue to grow. Yeah. And so you got to come ready. That's the key, you know. And so
you come ready by being prepared, you know, to learn and grow. That's it. That is the only preparation you guys and gals need to come to these seminars, because we've had people that have had different health ailments that we've had to work around. We've had different skill levels, people that just got started with inner Shaolin that have shown up, people that have been with us for years. We have like a total mixed bag. And that's what's so fun about it, is because you do get to work with all those different energies and get those personal corrections as well from both of our sifus, and be able to take care of everything. Jason, the seminar is located in Washington, D.C. I'm about to put a link up in the chat for you. So give me a moment and I will get that over to you. But it's going to be November 30th through December 2nd. And it's close to an international airport as well as a standard airport too.
I've had people who thought when they came, they thought they
were ready.
And they're like, oh my gosh, it's like beyond, it's way beyond, because you gotta understand that when we're learning to control energy, it's a whole different thing. It's not about just throwing your body and just putting everything behind it. It's controlling the energy and putting everything into it, not behind it. And it's a totally different thing. It's like saying I shot with a toy pistol, and then you have to shoot with a real pistol. It's 2 different things, you know? Yeah. You get the idea of, I go like that, but the feel of what a gun shoots, and the power, and knowing how to get your structure right, to hold the gun, and know how to let your wrist relax and let it come and bring it back. So first you go pew, 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 pew. You know, you're not really learning how to really feel the energy behind what a root gun would do versus shooting like a water pistol. Yeah. You know? So when we teach you how to move energy, it's going to be totally, totally different from what you're used to doing everyone's learned how to punch by throwing their body. You know, throw the shoulders, turn the body into. We don't teach you to just throw. Like the biggest thing I tell people, like a lot of people learn how to move energy. What we teach you to do is how to control the energy in that movement, and that's the biggest thing. Yeah. You know, it's one of the biggest things that people don't realize. And so when you come and you're going to realize, like, wow, there's a big difference in just moving versus moving energy. You know, you can move inefficiently. And the best analogy I heard before is like, imagine two ducks swimming side by side. On the top, it may look all fine, but underneath, you can see one duck going, trying to keep up with the other one's like. Because on the surface, they may look like they're swimming side by side evenly, but underneath, one's working really hard to keep up with the other one who's very relaxed. And so it's the same idea. We're trying to get you to understand how to move efficiently and effectively, right? And maximize energy. You know, maximize the energy with a little bit of effort. You know, minimal effort for maximum effect. And so we're going to teach you how to do that. And once you get, like I said, once you get that feel, you can build. And that's you know, I've learned through all the principles and everything, but you know, once I got the feel, that's how I started growing. Yes. And you know, I practice all my techniques through feel. I don't practice my techniques just like hitting fast and hitting hard. I hit fast and hard because I have a great feel behind it. And that's, you know, that's the key. And that's what we're trying to get you guys to learn to do. And in the seminar, we're going to be focusing on the technique, but getting the feel behind the technique.
Yes.
So that's really going to be very beneficial for you all. And you're going to understand a lot. Like I'm going to teach a lot of science, a lot of principles, and the energy behind those principles, and how the body works behind those principles. You know, all these things are the key to getting your body to be very efficient and effective. So yeah, definitely come, because it's really going to be something that you're going to say, I've gone to many seminars. I've never been to one as great, as informative, as thorough, as detailed as this. And it's not like we're going to say, oh, just do it just to do it. I'm not here to give you a fish. Yeah. I'm here to teach you how to fish. I'm here to teach you what kind of fishes there are, how to catch them, with what bait, where, what time, all this stuff. This is like what we teach you to do.
Advanced fishing.
So this is definitely like something you're going to really love, you know, especially I'm going to be teaching a lot on how to get your strikes, what I call the first strike, the counter strikes, all these type of strikes, and teaching you really how to utilize that very efficiently.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's going to be super exciting. I'm looking forward to everyone that I already know signing up, and hopefully some of you that are watching this are going to choose to, you know, invest in yourself and in your martial arts and come to the seminar as well. You know, there's this whole thing, like you can get ready all day long. There's never going to be a perfect time. There's never going to be a perfect moment than right now. That's the reality. Imagine if you got ready to do something for 2 years and then you found out you were doing it wrong for those 2 years. Well, you could have just got it corrected right away and then been training and doing everything properly for the next 2 years, versus just waiting, hoping till you get to that right point. We actually have this happen a lot. We offer on our site where we do video critiques. It's one of the options that you can have as a member. And I've had numerous people tell me, I'm like, hey, I haven't seen a critique from you yet. You know, how's it going and everything? And they're like, oh, I'm not ready for that yet. I'm not ready. But the whole point of these critiques is to improve and then do another and improve. So slowly. It's meant to get a couple corrections, fix that, come back, get a couple more, fix that, and all that other stuff.
It's like improve by 10%. You don't have to improve by 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
You improve by 10%. Yeah. Every time you improve by 10%.
That's the whole thing, is you want to keep improving the small increments, the small changes and stuff like that. And so if you're just always waiting to get ready, or when you think at the time is right, you're still going to find out you need corrections then. So why not get the good corrections now? Like, why not just jump in and get the good, proper corrections right now? You know, for those of you that don't know my background and my story and stuff, and how I entered Shaolin started and stuff, when I first found out about Sifu Fu, just hearing about him, I didn't even see any videos like a lot of you guys have had the privilege of seeing and stuff like that. I just heard about his principles, and I knew in my spirit that was what I wanted to learn and what I had been looking for. And I decided I didn't want to learn anything but that, because I didn't want to learn wrong. I knew in my spirit that this was right, and I wanted to make sure that I did it right. I didn't care if I had to do it by video or if I had to move to New Jersey. Which I did, and that's how Shaolin eventually started. I would have moved a lot sooner if I would have realized that. But that's what I realized. I couldn't find this type of instruction anywhere else, and I didn't want to learn wrong. I'd rather not train than, you know, learn, you know, versus like I want to learn right. I don't want to learn wrong. I don't want to get bad training and then have to fix all those things. I already knew I was going to have to fix, you know, my everyday problems as it was with our movements and stuff like that. I didn't want to train wrong. I wanted to train right. And I was willing to do whatever it took to make that happen. And that's what these seminars are for, to help you to train right. The videos are great. They're very detailed. They help you. But like Sifu said, you need to feel. And you can't feel what's right if you're not with someone that already has that experience to show you that. And you can go look at our seminar page. You can go look at testimonials from previous people. You're going to learn what's right. You're going to learn the feel, and you're going to get some serious aha moments that you've been looking for in your training. A lot of people get stagnant in their training and they're not sure what's going on, why they can get past certain plateaus. And that's what our seminars are here to do, is to help you get past those plateaus.
A lot of people think to get better, they have to get more physically conditioned to do so. And in some essence, yeah, the physical condition does help you get better, but it doesn't mean you're more efficient. It just means you spend more energy to get this much out when you should be spending this much energy to get that much out.
Right.
And so a lot of people, they say, I got to get stronger, I got to get faster. And you're building up this amount of energy just to improve that much. And that's the wrong way. It's because think about the most powerful air conditioner in the world. Like it's really, really powerful. And it's hooked up to a house. But the problem is every window in the house is open on a 90-degree day or 100-degree day. No matter how powerful that air conditioner is, if the windows are open, it's not going to cool it. You can take an air conditioner that's a tenth of that power, close all the windows, and make sure that everything's sealed, no air is leaking, and it's going to be just as efficient.
Yeah.
Because you're closing off the windows, not just saying, let me add more power to try to put more cold air while losing all that air through the windows. So we're trying to teach you how to close your windows. And if you have the world's most powerful air conditioner, can you imagine how cold it would be real quick with all the windows closed? And so that's the idea, you know? Yeah. So we're not just saying just become stronger, become faster, because it doesn't mean anything if, you know, a strong powerful punch that raises still is not as efficient as somebody who's at 50% of his power, but can focus 100% into it. And that's what we want to teach you to do. Get your focus, get your energy behind what you do, correct that timing that you need. And so that's really what's going to make the difference for you, where you can hit a lot harder, a lot faster, without having to spend more energy.
So Jason Day has a great question. He says, do participants need any equipment to come to the seminar?
No, we're going to bring it for you. So we're going to have that for you.
You are good to go. Yeah, the only thing you need to do is come in some comfy clothes, ready to learn. That's it. Bring yourself. You are the equipment. You're good to go. That's a great question. And
yeah, I'm going to bring the pads. We're going to bring striking pads and everything. We'll bring that.
Yeah. Nawaf says, I have a question. Was Bruce Lee a real martial artist? Because he never got into a fight with someone, but he was in many martial arts movies.
All right, well, I don't know where you got your information, but Bruce Lee got into a lot of fights.
Yeah, I was going to say.
If you read a lot of testimonies from Jackie Chan, from Sammo Hung, from a lot of people, Bruce Lee got into a fight a lot. He got challenged a lot, especially in making Enter the Dragon.
Oh, yeah.
When the sets were, when they were not making any movies, people would come up to him and challenge him because they thought he was a fake. And Bruce Lee, you know, Jackie Chan talked about a time when a guy came up, a martial artist came up to him and challenged him. And Bruce Lee beat him in less than 3 seconds. And he just went back to doing what he did. Like it didn't matter to him. You know, and Bruce Lee fought. He always, now he didn't always win. Right. You know, there was times like the guy who was played Green Hornet. There was a book I read that, you know, he would always have the Green Hornet try to grab him. And Bruce Lee would always try to get out of it. And the guy said, I had such strong grip, strong hands. And Bruce Lee had a very hard time to get out of it. And he would come up every day and try to work on it, right? You give me that, I'm going to try. And, you know, he's like, look, I was just very, very strong. Bruce Lee just could not break the grip. But every day he would come up and challenge him. Grip me, I want to try. And he would always try something new. But Bruce Lee was ahead of his time. He was tough, you know. He was very, very conditioned and very, very good. The only thing is, to me, is like he never finished Wing Chun, you know, and so that's why he did the Jeet Kune Do, because he had to fill in the gaps that he couldn't learn on the Wing Chun. Mm-hmm. So, you know, but it helped him become who he was. And Bruce Lee wasn't the greatest fighter, but he was a great fighter, and I would say he was the greatest known fighter at the time. Mm-hmm. You know, he was the most popular great fighter.
Yeah,
you know?
And I'd also say, you know, being a martial artist is not about getting into fights. If you're a good martial artist, you're actually doing your best to not put yourself in situations to be in fights. It's just if you find yourself in a fight, you can handle it. But at least that's our philosophy. We're not looking to go pick fights or, rouse up with people and rile them up and stuff like that. Like, it's not about that. It's martial arts is supposed to humble you and make you a better version of you, not make you where you want to go and pick fights with people on the street and stuff like that. It's so if you need to fight, you're prepared for it and you're ready, but you're not looking for the fight. I hope that makes sense. Let's see here. So Scott Hall says, Sifu Fu, was it difficult to learn what you teach? And did you find moving energy was easy for you in the beginning?
Moving energy felt easy in my head until I got better and then understood more.
Right.
Somebody in the beginning thinks they're doing it right. And then years and years later, they realize, oh my gosh, I see where I was and where I am. Like, I thought I was good then. I thought I was good then, but I actually found that I'm much better now. I do much better control now. So in terms of moving, like I said, it didn't feel difficult. For me, it was unrefined. That's the best way I can say it. I was moving unrefined. And
right.
But it wasn't difficult. It just wasn't clean. It wasn't clear. It's like cutting with a very dull knife and say, yes, I'm cutting. I put a lot of pressure. Then as I learned how to be sharper, like, oh, look, I don't have to use as much force. Oh, look, I'm doing it much easier now. So, the motion, like cutting a knife is a motion forward and backwards, right? It was dull. And so I was putting a lot more force to get the cut. And as I got better, I used a sharper knife and realized, oh, look, I can do the same motion and use less effort. And it's because I learned how to sharpen my blade. And so, yeah, like back when I was in college, I hit this guy. He was a karate guy, like a second-degree black belt. He said that Kung Fu was no good, had no power, blah, blah, blah. And I told him that 1-inch punch is effective. And he got to the point where he was like, no, I fought Wing Chun guys and they couldn't hit. And I was like, listen, they may not know how to hit, but if you do it right, it's powerful. And we got into a little bit of argument. And basically, I said, if I hit you, it would really, you'd feel it. He goes, prove it. I go, do you really want me to hit you? And I go, yeah, hit me. And I said, I put my hand on his shoulder. I said, you really want me to hit you? He goes, hit me with everything you got. So I was like, fine. I'm just going, boom. And when I hit him, he flew and just fell on my bed on my college dorm. And he just fell down. The next day I saw him. He had a sling on his arm. He was all busted up from that hit. And after that, I could tell I could turn dirt into gold and he would believe me. He would just believe everything I said. But then I hit hard. But now I hit a lot harder. Then he felt it. It hurt him. Now I feel like I can not just hurt the shoulder, I can crush everything behind it because I understand much, much better how to move and control my body's energy than before. So what I thought I knew, looking back, I now know that I did it, but just not as clean and as clear and as efficient as I am now. So it's not difficult to learn how to move. It's learning how to move fine and efficient and effective. And that's really what you're doing. Right now, you're going to be rough. And it's okay. It's like writing a rough draft on an essay. You got your content. Now we have the rough draft. Now we're going to clean it and make it better and better and better to your final draft. And that's what it is. So training was not difficult for me. It just was not refined. And now that years and years of practice, now it's more refined. Now I can tell the difference between then and now. And I gain more knowledge of how to teach it, how to just really teach the technique behind the students so they can do what I need to do now than I did then. Nobody taught me how to refine my movements then.
Yeah.
I learned it now, and I can pass that to you. So that's really it.
Which, yay for us. Let's see. Pam says, nice analogy, Sifu. Jim says, knowledge is the beginning, then understanding, followed by wisdom, and ultimately humbleness. Absolutely. Very true. Scott says, I'm very excited to feel the energy and any corrections. I need to learn properly. I'm ready to be molded. See, that's all you need to do to prepare. Be ready to be molded. You are good to go to come to the seminar. Let's see. XYNX says, hi, Sifu. Hope you're doing great. Can you please help me out with a butterfly kick? Thanks.
Okay. I don't know what the butterfly kick is, what you're referring to. For us, it's like the same thing as the sunflower kick. So if that's the same, I can teach you that. But you need to define your kicks more. Like, for example, a spinning with a crescent kick and an inside crescent kick versus an outside crescent kick. For us, like a sunflower kick, butterfly kick, it was called the same. So learn how to do like a spin like this into that is the kick. So if that's the case, I can show you how to do that. First off, you got to find your center. So when spinning, okay, you want to keep your chamber in tight. You don't want to go like this and bring your leg out because that's going to pull you off center and it's going to throw you. You want to keep it tight, so you bring up your leg. So you can see as I spin, I keep it in tight. I want to turn my hip to turn my heel.
There you go. I don't know if you can.
I want to turn my hip to turn my heel. So it should be your first things like this. Your hip should move immediately over to your heel. Then you should transfer all your energy to this point here to find your root. Push off your toe and bring your leg, and that's going to bring you around from that. And that's really the first basis you want to do. A lot of people, when they do it, they might have a slight off center, and so they might go like this. Like, and you can see I'm kind of falling off to the side. You don't want that. You want to be able to turn the hip and find yourself center and go up and see if you can just come right back down to where you were. So if you're finding that you're losing your balance, then you're off. Turn your hip to get your turn. Push off the toe and see if you can come right back. And that's your first state. Once you can do that and you get your leg up, once you're here in that high chamber like that, then the leg, you see I'm balancing, it's because I got all this energy and I'm trying not to jump yet, but it's bringing me to up there. And so you want to create one and then create that two. So you want to go like one and then two. You see how I can land on my one leg and not feel like I have to fall over. So when I'm doing that, that shows me I have my center. It shows me that I can hit from the center, and then my legs can come out. So once you get into that position where you're like this, then you can land with your foot down. So if that's the type of kick you're doing, it's called the butterfly kick. We call it sunflower kick, and I heard they're called the same. It just depends. I don't know from what school you've come from. You might have a different slight version of what you call butterfly kick. So you have to send me a video or give me a detailed explanation of what it is. So, but the key is making sure you have a good center. Make sure you pivot from your standing leg and you don't throw your shoulders to do so. You turn your waist and you bring in your chamber. Keep the chamber in tight. That keep you in your center and allow you to kick much better because of that.
Good question. All right, so let's see. Okay, from Scott. He says, Sifu Fu, do you always or generally do a bong style from a tan style?
In combat and practice. I tell people always, by default, you want to make a woo. And then based on someone's energy and control, you would change it to something else. But you should not throw your hands into a tan sao. Don't want to just throw your hands to a bong sao. By default, you should always bring your woo up. And if they intercept you, for example, she's punching me, and she has no really energy to control me, then all I have to do is stuff like that. But if it's like if she's punching me and she turns her wrist on me, then I would counter that torque with another torque. So when I turn my wrist to movement, it's because I'm counting her wrist movement, not because she pushes for. She's like this and she goes like this to me, and she throws her shoulder. It's never going to make me turn. It won't. For her to beat my wrist and arm control, she has to turn her wrist to take it. So I would never want to just throw a bong, a tan, or a food or anything. Off the bat, my first movement should always be the woo into anything else if necessary. So like if she's throwing random punches at me, you can see my hands are just right in here. So I just have to place the woo. So from there, and then based on what I need to do or want to do, then I can change it. Okay. Can you throw a tan straight off the bat? Yeah, you could. But to me, it's like, the problem with throwing your hands into like a fook or a bong or a tan, it kind of commits you, and it's hard to change to adapt. A lot of people, when I learn Wing Chun, they talk about turning a tan to a bong on a hook punch. It doesn't work. Okay, it does not work, and the reason why is because you're trying to turn away from someone when they're coming into you, and you're going to want to get socked in the face. And what I mean by that is, if she throws a hook punch, and I'm going like this, and I try to cut this way, if you look at my arm, I'm taking my energy, I'm actually turning away from her. And that's really bad because now you're no longer in control. You can't influence your opponent because you actually took the pressure off them. The only way I would bomb is that if she's throwing a punch, right? And I got my, and she cuts into my wrist and pulls my wrist down. Then I can counter because she's forcing my wrist down.
Doing a hook punch?
Well, people who have some wrist control training, they may, like when I hit, I have wrist control, and I would do that. So advanced people can do that. Your basic, shoulder throws will never do that. It would never happen. They have to have wrist control to take your hands. Like if I had her throw a punch at me, I just throw a hook punch. Okay. And she throws a swing, and I go without throwing her wrist, like turn her wrist, use your arm, use your shoulders, use everything. She cannot break this. It will not move. It will not change. The only way she can break through that is that she can hook and control my wrist, like with her hand. She can basically, if she made a woo, and make a woo, and I go like this, she could actually just pop it up and drive it. The only way I beat this, I take the wrist control. Now, if I do that, she can counter that because what I take down, she can feed up and then she can come over top. And you only do that when someone has a wrist control on you. My hands don't have to move outside the woo unless they take control of my wrist. They can push their arm. She can do this and she can push my arm in any way. It'll never, ever change this. She can force my arm over. She can pull my arm down. Like it doesn't change. It's only when she starts taking her hand, she hooks towards my wrist and makes my wrist come down. Then I might have to counter. Otherwise, you really don't want to break the woo control. They are your best. And the reason why the woo is so good is because it can meet at any point without having to change. And it can adapt to change if it's necessary. For example, if I'm here, right, and I got my woo, and she takes my hand somewhere, I can make the woo back. You see, you might not have seen it through the mic. Or she takes my hands down. Look, boom, you see? Now, if my hand needs to change, because let's say when she takes my hand down, she has wrist control. She'll turn my wrist, for example. And when that happens, I might have to do that and change. So you have to break my wrist control to make me change. But the problem is let's say I kind of commit like a ton sound, let's say. And I'm going like this, I make a ton. I'll show you this for a second. Okay. An icon. Once I'm like this, she can easily move me, and then I have to do a lot of transition to another movement. Whereas if I make a woo hand, she moves me. I don't have to transition. Yeah. But if I'm like this, half my energy is out, half my energy in, and I have to more force in. So I'm going to wind up trying to commit more energy to a movement rather than just be on the movement. And so I talk about the woo hand, and by being the default.
I believe, real quick, just for members, I believe that is in the Nodak Na section in the training hall.
And there's a video on YouTube on that.
I'll double check on that for you.
Yeah, there's a YouTube video we did on that too. The woo hand is great. It is what I use all the time. If she's punching me, I just use the woo hand, and no matter how she punches me, I can just do this and go here. She punches me, I don't even see it though. Oh, but you can see with my hands here, 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 here. So I could just, and I do it through the turn of the wrist. So you can see the woo hand can meet in any way. But once I start doing this, you can see now I have to do this. And you see how much of a turn it is as opposed to this? You can see if I'm taunting and I get to, it's a lot more movements because once you start favoring one side to get to the other side, now you got to cross over and do a lot. So if I'm like this and going like this, it's a lot versus like this, like this. It's much faster for your wrists to change angles out of woo than it is once you start committing a tons, flutes, bills. Not saying that you can't ever use it. Don't get me wrong. But it's not something you should do off the bat for every single strike. She's punching me, I'm doing like a ton. She's punching me, I go bill, and it becomes very, very difficult because I'm committing to this long movement to go from here to here, from here to here, from here to here. Versus like this, it's just faster for your arms to just move and beat. And it's less energy for you, and it's much more efficient for you.
Hey, Sumi, I called you, I think it was like last week or a week ago. Give me a call, girl. Are you coming to the seminar? We miss you. And yes, I know there's a video in there, so I'm glad that you've been using it. And she says, I love it, but learning how to train that so you can react quick enough. Let's see if it'll show me more.
Facebook thing.
All right, let me see if I can pull it up in there. Cancel real quick.
But that's what training is. Yeah. That's why you're training. You're training to handle the pressure.
Yes. Yes.
I talked about this before. What makes a master better than a student? Let's just say if he passed all his knowledge and the student learned everything he knew in terms of knowledge, what makes the master still the master over the student is that he can do the movement at a higher pace, higher pressure, and more efficiently, more effectively. That's what makes them master. And that's why you train it. You train to get to that level to where you can do it efficiently, effectively at high pressure. And that's why we train, you know? So,
oh, here we go. There we go. Okay, so what you said, I love it, but learning how to train that so you can react quick enough to incoming force, especially when it's something a lot stronger than you, is the hard part. Other than choose out any suggestions for how to train this?
Okay, in terms of when you say strong, it means that you're fighting them first. Okay, nobody can be strong in you unless you fight them. The key is to create good structure, and then the difference you move, you convert. If you're feeling their pressure coming in on you hard, that means you actually try to withstand them. The goal is, like, in terms of mathematics, if you can only hold 100 pounds of pressure and they have 300 pounds of pressure, you can't throw more to try to withstand that. The goal is to take the 100 pounds of pressure that you have and you convert the difference, which is like 200 pounds of pressure. Yeah. Then you have to curve that through the wrist somehow. So that's what you want to learn to do. But by saying, hell, he's stronger, that says that you're a resistor, because you can't measure strength unless there's resistance behind it. Okay? But really, in all actuality, a person can't hit you hard, he can only hit you fast. Something that travels faster becomes heavier as long as there's resistance. If you imagine if someone shoots you with a bullet and you can move faster than a bullet as it hits you, like you can move faster than a bullet, it wouldn't pierce you or penetrate your body. It's the fact that it can go in you before your body can heal. That's why it hurts. And same thing when someone's punching you. If their arms feel strong, it's because you went against them. You didn't meet them and convert the difference. You met them and held the difference. And that's what you got to make sure that you don't have. And that's what training is all. It's like refining your techniques and learning how to. For example, if she's throwing a punch at me and I'm going like this, and I'm like, man, she's just so strong that I every time I feel my body just moving away, because every time that means I'm actually pushing against her. Right. So the key is, and do this slow, okay. But I want to get structure, and if I feel her force, I convert the difference. You see? So I meet her with the base, and I turn her with my wrist. And this is the breakdown of what we do. You must have a strong base, and the base is that shoulder to the elbow. If you have a weak base, you'll have a weak drive. You have a weak drive, you have a weak torque. And you have a weak torque, you have a weak control. So you must have a strong base. Strong base gives you strong drive gives you strong torque gives you strong control. And I've done it with all my students, and every time their base is stronger, their hands naturally get better. Because the more you feed this, the more this can feed this, and then the more this can control that. Right. So, but if this is weak, then this is weak. Think of arm wrestling. We're arm wrestling, and she's got her elbow on the table. She could push. Now imagine if she's trying to do that, her elbow slides. Then she can't turn the energy. Without a base, you can't get to drive. Without the drive, you can't get to torque. Without the torque, you can't get to control. So you got to watch how to do this. So she's punching me. You know, I meet her, and then I punch her. Like, you see how she gets moved now? It's because I learn how to torque the difference, not fight the difference. And that's our control. Control comes from the wrist, not from the arm. We tend to do this, and we think this is our control, and that's not control. That's force. Yeah. Control must come from an arc, and it must come through the wrist. And for the wrist to get the torque, there must be a drive. That drive is the elbow to the wrist. You must have both properties. For every torque, there's a drive. For every drive, there's a torque. If you don't have it, then you'll wind up muscling. Okay. If your wrist fails, you'll always feel your shoulders. Just remember this. If you don't use your wrist, you will use your shoulders. It's one of two ways. Your shoulder's going to press hard, or your wrist can control that with the torque. And if you don't use your wrist, you will use your shoulders. If you don't use your shoulder or your wrist, you'll collapse. It's going to happen that way. That's just science. That's just how it is. So you have to feel your wrist in play. But in order for the wrist to be in play, there must be a drive. That's the drive from the elbow to the wrist. But in order for the drive to exist and to do well, you must have your base. You don't have a good base, you have to have a good root. And that's the breakdown. So if you're feeling someone very, very strong, it means you intercepted them very, very strong and did not convert it, but withstood it. The conversion must come from the wrist. And like I said, if you break it down, you must have a base. Okay. If I'm like this and I turn her wrist and she punches and my elbow goes away, if you notice, I can't really turn her. I'm turning away. But if I have a good base, and I'm going to exaggerate this, you're not supposed to do this far, but I'm just going to do it so you can see it. So she resists me, okay? If I do this, I turn her. You can see my elbow go out. So you can see, you can see this, right? But if I do this and I go boom, boom, you can see it's much more energy, okay, to go towards the wrist, and the wrist can turn. So that's what you want to do, okay? So you want to make sure that you have your structural integrity right, and then you have to have your wrist control right. That's how you can take the strongest guy in the world, so to speak, and handle him.
Yeah.
And because remember, strength has no value unless there's resistance first. And there are two types of resistance, okay? What we call passive resistance and active resistance. We want to create a good passive resistance, not an active resistance. The difference between the two is active resistance has to have a motion to go against. Passive resistance is just structural integrity. It's like pushing against a concrete wall. It's not pushing you back by actively pushing. It's pushing you back because of its structure, not because it's physically trying to push you. And that's what you want. You want to have this good, strong structure. God, she pushes in, structure. And if it's more, that's the conversion of the wrist. If she only hits me at 80 pounds of pressure and I can do 100, I'm not going to move. She doesn't have enough force to. But she does 250 and I'm going to do 100. She's going to crush me as long as I fight her. Well, if I can convert the difference, where I can turn the energy off me, then it won't matter. So just practice, learn how to control, not to resist.
You know, one of the things I've noticed when I find myself doing that wrong is it's a lot of times I'm shooting past the person versus going into the target. So I don't know if that will help and if that makes sense, but a lot of times that's what I find. If I'm doing it wrong, it's because I'm shooting past.
Yes, yeah. I call it imbalance. We call it imbalance. You have to have a balance between your elbow and your wrist. Yeah. 50-50. If you're more 60-40, then nature energy wants to go past, it's going to collapse on you and your hand cannot do its job.
Yeah. So hopefully that helps you. And I'm sorry that you're going to be working, Sumi, and you won't be able to come, but we hope to see you again soon, sister. Because a lot of what we're talking about right now is exactly what we're going to be covering at the seminar. So I'm sorry you're not going to be able to come and train that, but we are recording it. So for those of you that are members, you will have access to it. If you sign up to the seminar, you will have access to those videos as well. So hope to see you again soon. And hopefully that helps.
And we're trying to do the live webinar. So if you can't come, just come to the live webinar.
Yeah, we are trying to do it where it's going to be live and everything too. So maybe, you'll be able to watch it or something, or at least listen to it from work. Let's see here. Let's see. Albert says, do you have online training program? Yes. Yeah, I see Larry sent you over. So the ebook is we give that away for free. And there's a 5-day intro course for you to just check that out. But if you want to actually join and get our full training stuff, like right now, just skip to it and still get the ebook and all that stuff, you can go to entershaolin.com/join. And I would highly recommend being a junior or above because you will get access to all of our training that we have in the training hall versus just the No Deck Now 101 training, which is great. But if you're definitely looking for something that's a little bit more self-paced and be able to access more things faster, you definitely want to be a junior or above. Let's see here. Yes, Amaru says, lots of hugs, heart to heart, my dear family. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Amaru says, Tai Chi and Qigong help me to enter into myself. Marvelous to feel and realize in action that we are an interdimensional being who is reintegrating itself with our own cosmic soul constantly. We are always working to improve ourselves, and Tai Chi and Qigong definitely helps with that. So I'm glad that you are enjoying that. I don't know if you're a member, but we do have Tai Chi and Qigong in our site, and the way Sifu Fu teaches it is really very special. It really helps you to understand the energy and get it in the right place.
Like I said, we teach you to control energy, not just move energy.
Yeah.
That's a big difference. Big difference.
Panero says, Sifu Larry, what's up, my boy? CJG me Sifu, love you too. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I haven't been able to watch as many of these live videos as I would like to lately. Miss you guys. We miss you too. And, hey, guys and gals, if you missed these, it's not a big deal. We do have the replays up. And if you have any questions that you would like us to cover, even if you're not going to be here, you can always email us at support@entershaolin.com, and we'll make sure to get that covered on the next live that we do. And you can watch the replay at your convenience. That's the beauty of this technology. Let's see here. Anything else? Smokey Joe says, good morning, Tai Chi fam. Which one did I miss? Okay. Minakashi, maybe? Minakshi? Master Minakashi, maybe. Hopefully we said your name right. Master, how to react to group attack with strong weapons?
Okay, first I would say don't react, respond. Reacting is anything that you do, doesn't mean it's right or wrong, it just means you did something. So you want to respond. Respond is training, it's experience, it tells you, okay? When it comes to weapons, I mean, first off, what type of weapon? We're talking about sticks, we're talking about knives, we're talking about a combination of everything, we're talking about guns. All weapons are very, very diverse. So that's going to depend. First off, if you got multiple people and they got weapons, you got to get out of there. I mean, it's very, very difficult to fight multiple people with weapons. Okay, it's hard to fight multiple people, much less with weapons. First thing you want to do then is, I mean, if you can't get out of it, the first thing you want to do is you want to get close as you can to someone and get in tight. So this way they can do what we call shielding. If you're in tight enough, you can try to get them to be your shield. So if someone's trying to hit you, you can move someone into them. You can try to disarm the first person and get a weapon. My grandfather, when he was younger, my dad told me the story, and my grandfather told me too. He got jumped by 5 guys with machetes, back in the day. This is back in 1920, 1930. This is back then in Vietnam. But he was walking home and 5 guys with machetes went to rob him. And first guy that came in, my grandfather, who was an expert, he said he stabbed him here in the solar plexus with his finger and in the neck. And he basically killed him. And he got the machete in his hand. So first guy that came in on him, he disarmed and killed. And the other 4 guys were like, all right, we're out of here. So they fled because now here's a man who killed somebody barehanded. Now he's got a machete and he's got hands to kill. And they knew that he was really good at what he was doing. He's an expert. So they was like, okay, I don't want that to be me. And they left. So, you ever heard like fathers sometimes say, oh, if you got to be in a fight with a group of people, hit the biggest guy there. Just hit as hard as you can, knock the biggest guy down. Because once you destroy him, everybody else is going to be afraid.
Right.
And when you have multiple people with weapons, you got to, if you can, get the weapon. Mm-hmm. If you can get the weapon, get it fast. But stay close to one person that you can without, getting stabbed. Like if the person has a knife and she's coming in on me, I might want to go boom, 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 get inside and use my shield here. So anybody that comes is now stabbed. They can stab her. Now I can strike her at the same time. I got a weapon here. Boom, I can use her. And I can keep her tight, keep her in. If I see, like I got her neck, if I see someone coming from behind me now, I can do this and have them go in between. And so we teach one of these tactics in multiple fighting when we talk about shielding and know how to get in tight and making someone close to you. So when people are mob hitting you, remember, it's just fists coming everywhere. It's not focused. It's fists everywhere. So the idea is get them in so that way they protect you at a certain point. And again, you can move. And I teach all the time. I've done demonstrations and seminars where I had 4 or 5 people come up and say, just attack me. And I just have them. And I would just get the first one that came to me. I would bring them in, close them tight. I usually get along the neck. And the reason why the neck and the head is because 1, it's the easiest thing to get to. And 2, it's one of the easiest points to control. So, and you just saw what I did when she came in. I went in, I went for the hit down here. I immediately went in for the neck. And the reason why is because I can turn her very easily this way and this way. I use her as a shield. And I could punch her along the face. I could just hit her face. I control her neck. I control the head, and she'll move easily. Wherever that saying is, where the head goes, the body goes. Yeah. So I take along the neck. I control the head, and I can use her as my shield. I can basically protect myself if someone's trying to hit me from here. I could turn her here, and if someone's coming this way, I create a kick towards them while protecting here and attack somewhere else. So that's what we call multiple fighting, and the technique is called shield fighting. But when you talk about weapons, if people have baseball bats and there's 9 of them, the more people there are, the more weapons, the more difficult it becomes. It's like just get out of there. You do not want to stay there and fight because you're not going to win. You're more likely going to lose. The things you see in the movies, that's the movies. That's not reality. Unless you got a hit that can put a hole in people and kill them in one hit. If you're in that essence that you have your weapon yourself. My grandfather, he trained to pierce, and he was a weapon. So the first guy came in, when he came in, my grandfather stabbed him in the solar plexus, and he said he went to the neck and pierced him. A normal hit probably would just make him feel, but it wouldn't stop him. So and I always say this in the end, when it comes down to any martial arts and any style, any system, any fight, actually, it comes down to 2 things: what you give versus what you can take. It comes down to that. It's like if you're Superman, who cares if there's a million people with baseball bats and knives and guns and tanks, and it's not going to hurt you. So it doesn't matter. You know, and then you could just go bam and put a hole in them because you have the power to hurt. And so you're training how to get your power up. You're training how to get your energy right. So when you hit, you can do the damage. You know, a lot of kung fu movies, you see like she punches and so they go boom, and the guy's like on the floor. Like that's not going to be enough to stop someone. You have to have the right projection of energy. You have to have the right focus. You have to have the right connection and the right timing, and all these things make a difference. Like if I do this to her, and this isn't going to hurt her, but if I go like this to her and I throw my body weight, I'll just use my power. I go and she tenses up. She can withstand that because you can see I might throw my weight, but look at my body mechanics. I'm throwing a little bit of my energy this way, part this way. My elbow might come up, and I just might throw. It's not really into the point. If I do it like this, now it's into the point, and you can see she's moving.
You can hear that too.
Yeah, you can hear it. So we're going to teach you, like I said, in this summer, we're going to teach you how to get the power. Because if you can't do the damage to hurt them, then you're going to be in big trouble. It's like a 5-year-old kid trying to punch you, like, you know, like big deal. Like you're going to just pound them down. You'll take the hit, right? Here's some things. For someone to stop attacking you, it's one of 3 things: knock them out, lock them out, or they get what they want. So you could get into like a grappling state where you break the elbow, break their wrist, break their neck. That's like a lock them out. Or knock them out is more like hitting them so hard they lose their energy, they can't continue. Right. And the third is obviously if they get what they want. If they want your money, they want to get out there, then they're fine. If they want to make you cry like a baby, they're going to keep going until you cry like a baby. Okay? When a punch occurs, okay, those are only 3 things that you can do. Okay? There's only 3. So, what are the 3? 1, you can evade, dodge, get better angles. So you can, you know, duck and weave. If she's throwing a punch, you can dodge. You can do that. That's one of your first things. The second one is interception. Okay, make contact. You can do interception whether you deflect, whether you strike, whether you block, whatever. I'm not saying that all these choices are right. I'm just saying these are options. Okay, and the third is flat out take it. Like if she's punching in the stomach, it's like bam, bam. I might just take it and go for one.
I punched up here. Sorry.
So it doesn't matter. But it doesn't matter. But my point is I might take the punch and just continue. Now, if her punch was strong enough where she could make concrete explode to a million pieces, then that wouldn't do well for me. But she hits like a 3-year-old kid, and I'm just like, damn, just take it, just eat it, just hit her. So those are the 3 things that can happen. And so we want to generate that ability to either create the dodge intercept point where I can cut the angle, like but I can boom, create that damage into her arms and do damage. Right, weapon strike, and then go from there to the face. But my intent is to make sure that I'm not defending. That's what we don't defend. We attack or counterattack. I'm not here to try and stop them getting hurt. I'm here to make the hurt. Because if I'm stopping from getting hurt, then I'm not doing one of the 3 things. I'm not knocking them out.
You're going to get hurt.
So you're basically receiving all the energy. Whereas if she's punching, don't control, okay? But I can do a quick punch. So she's punching, I go, boom, and now I'm going towards the face. So I'm going for the hits. When we intercept, we don't intercept to stop a punch from hitting us. We intercept to clear the path so we can get a strike. So if she's swinging in my ear, I'm not going like this. I'm trying to get her away. You see, my intent is not really attacking. My intent is stop from getting attacked. Whereas she's punching again, it's attack. I'm now attacking. I'm going for the attack. I'm not going for the block. I'm not going for defensive. I'm going for counteroffensive. If you're not attacking, you're counterattacking. If you're not counterattacking, you should be attacking. At no time should you want to step away to get away. If I step away, it's so I can get a better position in my body, whether it be rooting or angle, so I can go forward. So, for example, if she's punching me and I step backwards, right? This is defensive. You can see my body language says, get away from her. Whereas my body language says, get into her. You see, I step back, but where's my intent? My intent is still forward. It's not getting away. My intent is to step back so I get a better base, get a better root, and get the better forward energy intent. So this is what we teach all the time. This is what we preach all the time. This is what the NDN system is. So if someone's coming at you hard and comes out with all these, don't
I know.
Okay? So, because I've done this demonstration where I had people just come in and they always wind up getting hit. And so I'm telling her not to lean in because I'm not going to defend. If she's coming with everything she got, I'm just going to go forward. I'm going to just protect from my center. So if anything intercept, I'm going for the hit, and I'm going to go forward into the strike. Because if I'm too busy defending, then I have no time attacking. All I want to do is to attack. If I'm not attacking, I'm counterattacking. If I'm not counterattacking, I'm attacking. That's it. If I cut the angle or I step away, it's so I can get the attack back, not so I can get away. Now, there are times to get away. Like I said, if we have like 9 people with baseball bats and knives, get away. It's not a time to stay. You know, you gotta, your first weapon is always your brain, I always say. So you gotta be able to analyze and see what's going on. You know, I'm in a dark area, there's 9 people with baseball bats and knives. I don't want to stay there. All it takes is one stab and it's over. So yeah, my brain tells me to get out of it.
Right.
You know, now if you have to fight, you have to fight. And it's like, I wish you the best because it's a hard thing to do. I wouldn't fight 9 guys with baseball bats and knives. My chances of survival is very nil and none. Because
if I can run, I'm going to try to run.
Because of the range of a weapon, and you got 9 people. You know, it's like the best thing to do is get to the corner, get to a wall, so no one can get up behind you. So, and if they swing a bat, you can duck, use the wall, so that when they hit, it disrupts their ability, and then you get in and bring them into you, and use them as a shield. So now anybody's swinging, if I'm in the corner, I can bring it to me. I can strike it like this. Anyone comes into the baseball bat, remember, there's a corner here like this. Now she's inside. Now I can do damage to her. And if someone wants to swing, I can move this way, use her as a shield, and then come and get out. If I can move her and get her hit, I can go to the next person and get out of that circle that they're trapping, and then run as fast as hard as I can and yell fire. Right. Don't yell help. People are kind of desensitized to help, but you say fire, like where? They want to come see what it is. They want to know what's going on. It's one of the things you teach for children when they run, tell them to say scream fire, not help, because people can become sensitized to help. But if you yell fire, it draws people's attention right away.
Yeah. So Albert, it looks like you're maybe new to what we do. So we have 2 YouTube channels. We have Enter Tai Chi. So you can go to youtube.com/Enter Tai Chi. And we also have Enter Shaolin. So you can go to youtube.com/Enter Shaolin. And I saw that you were asking questions if we teach online. Actually, yes, we do. We have a whole training curriculum. You can go to entershaolin.com/join. The YouTube channels are just the way that we give back to the community. There's a lot of free content, but if you want our full detailed trainings, you will want to become a member at entershaolin.com/join. I already put that stuff in the comments, but if you need me to, again, just let me know and I will take care of that. So Jason Day had a couple questions. I'll kind of just lump them in together. He says, what lineage do you follow in Wing Chun? And he also wanted to know if you follow Ip Man's lineage.
No, I follow my grandfather's lineage, the Indian system. For example, there's a lot of difference in our Wing Chun versus a lot of other people's Wing Chun. Again, we do the Wu as a default. We don't go to packs, we don't go to tons, we don't go to bills. We stay in the Wu and we only convert if necessary. Otherwise, we don't do all the other deflections. We emphasize a lot on the wrists and having a strong base, but a lot of systems, they don't emphasize the wrist. They emphasize just the elbow. And so there's a lot of difference. You know, we don't deflect, we don't parry. We intercept striking points to convert through striking, not through parrying. So if you've trained in Wing Chun before, do you ever do packs where people are punching the pack, and they go hard? You ever see people do this and they fall? It's because they don't have a good base. They actually put all their energy in their hands. And that's wrong. It creates an imbalance. And if someone punches really hard, you're going to find 9 out of 10 times you're not going to be able to stop it, because without a good base, you don't have good control. And so we emphasize a lot on the energy and the structure in the body. A lot of people just really emphasize on techniques like, oh, you want to just throw a time, put everything you have, and they say go harder into it. And you know, there's styles that do tan styles like this. You know, you can see a tan style like this, and that's not anatomically correct. This is not the tan style it should be, because that's the alignment of your wrist. This is not alignment of your wrist. This is, you measure your energy, how it works. This is your down PM. It's supposed to be like this, aligned to here. Anatomically speaking, this is naturally the strongest wrist position for your hand. You do this, you actually are in a very, very weak position. I would say very weak, but a weaker position. This is the weakest position, but this is a weaker position. This is the strongest position of your wrist. So you don't really go grab someone as hard as you can, make a fist, and then grip is tight. And look at the back of your hand, you'll see that this is the formation you make. And then try to do it like this and grip it as tight as you can. You'll find that it's a lot weaker. So, you know, we emphasize a lot on science, a lot on control of the energy. We practice learning how to not get caught in fixed positions. Which, like I said, a lot of people are like, oh, you got to get your toes in. You got to, yeah, it works great when the guys do the exact same thing for you. But when you got a guy who's random, he's free, and he's going to move about, you're going to find that it's very, very difficult to combat someone who's like that. Wing Chun does not work against boxers, against Muay Thai guys. And the reason why is because Wing Chun's a close quarter fighting system. And it wants to fight in tight, wants to stick, it wants to control. Boxers, Muay Thai guys will not do that. They will not play the game. Chi Sao is a cooperative game. That's why you never see somebody in Wing Chun fight Chi Sao in real life, because no one's going to stick to you and try to stay there. Okay, no one's going to do that. Okay, unless he's a Wing Chun guy trained to do that. So you're doing the same thing. I call it cooperative because the other guy has to agree to do the same thing you're doing. A real fighter is never going to want to stick and stay. He's going to tag, especially Westerners and today's martial arts. They do tag, bam, 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 bam. They just want to throw fast hands. They don't want to stick to you. And so if you're trying to do this and trying to get the stick, you're going to be done, because now you're going out of your way to get something that's not naturally there. So Wing Chun is great to me. I was like, what's the purpose of Wing Chun? What good is it? It's great for close quarter. It's great for anti-grappling. When people want to get in tight, that's where I think Wing Chun really excels. A lot of people want to come into grappling state. That's now where Wing Chun can really, really handle well. The only problem with it is a lot of Wing Chun handles Wing Chun more out here, and they lost this. And you know, when I've seen Wing Chun guys go to grappling state, they try to get away and they try to go out like that, rather than close it and move the baseline and get the strike from close quarter using the arms. I see a lot of Wing Chun guys try to get the head away, try to get the distance and space, and then they try to throw this elongated movement on a close quarter fight. And that doesn't work. Wing Chun is made to fight close quarter. And close quarter fighting is really within the bridging of the arm, from the elbow to the wrist, not the hands. Hands are made to play a distance, not close quarter. And how you can prove that is put your hands out here. Somebody pushes your arm, you can withstand a lot. Put it more like in a wound level, and then you can see it'll collapse. But if they push along your arm, you'll see that you can hold and withstand a lot more pressure. So, you know, our lineage is very different because of a lot of things. We do everything based on the science and the energy behind it. So, Mike, you know, a lot of Wing Chun is influenced by Ip Man because, you know, he spread it all over the world. But if you look, a lot of Ip Man's students, right, who learn directly from Ip Man, you see 10 students and you see 15 some Tao forms. It's like, why is it? Because you got to remember, when training, you have to train what's best suits you. And so you're going to hear one person say, oh no, the hand should be like this, and oh no, the hand should be like this, and another person will say, no, 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 and they're gonna kind of have different, and but yet they all learn Ip Man. And why do you have different Chum Q forms, or why do you have different Sun Tao forms if Ip Man taught them all directly, and yet you see different? Because in reality, it doesn't matter how you move, it's how you move in the energy, in the balance. And what I mean by that is, I tell my students all the time, it doesn't matter the structure. A lot of times people are very stickler. You gotta have your elbow here, you gotta have your hand here, you gotta have no, you don't have to do that, okay? It's like telling a guy who walks on a tightrope, you gotta keep your head above your hip, above your heel, and you gotta walk straight like this. No, I can tilt my head this way, as long as I have a counter force to create a balance. It can be more difficult, but it can be done. And someone who does it all the time become an expert at it, and it's like, what are you talking about? I can do this very, very easily. Say like a guy who rides a unicycle versus a guy riding a bicycle. It's like, yeah, there's one dimension of balance, but when you ride a unicycle, you have to balance not just left and right, but forward and backwards. And it becomes more difficult. But the guy who does it all day, it's nothing to him. So that's what training is all about. We're training to get good at what we're doing. And so, you know, for us, it's all about knowing how to balance stuff in the structure. Because in a real fight, you can never, ever be exactly where you want, especially if a guy closes the distance and he puts you in a different position. He guts you in a different angle. He counters you a certain way. He has a bigger weight. He has more weight on you. He got more length. All these things go into factor. The thing that we have that makes us different is we have adaptability. In other words, if somebody's changing the way they're moving when we connect, we have the ability to adapt to that. We're not stuck in that. Whereas if you do a tansao like this, if the guy arches his arm a little bit, it's going to go right through. When we do it, we have more of the woo, so they slip the arms. We can adapt to the change. And so that's why people don't break through, because we have the ability to control and change under that pressure. So our Wing Chun is very different from a lot of people's Wing Chun because we really emphasize a lot of the science and the control behind it. You know, 3 proof is 4 proof. That's the basis of the No Deck Na. It's what we use for everything that we do. You know, in the end, it's all about the principles of energy. And these are science. They're facts. They're not opinions. You can prove it. We do pressure tests to prove it. We have people always challenging us, and we demonstrate it all the time. The hit is going to be very different. If you come to the summer, you're going to see the difference and how you hit. You know, you guys can all hit, and that's what I would do. Just let you guys all hit, and I'm going to teach you how to do the proper hit with the proper energy, and you're going to see how much more efficient you can hit, more powerfully, but less effort. You know, I had a student that was a police academy, and they brought in a professional boxer to teach him how to hit and everything like that. And they had a student, my student, hitting a guy with holding a pad. So he was just practice my technique. He would just practice very light, just like boom. And he was just practice boom, like that. And the boxer came and said, no, you got to put your shoulders behind it. You got to get your body behind it. Because if you got a big guy comes out, how you going to stop him, blah, blah. And he gets to tell him, like he's doing it wrong. My student said, well, no offense, but that's how I practice the hit. And he goes, no, you're going to get killed. You got to come at you hard. You're not going to withstand that pressure. Blah, blah, blah. And so he said, no problem. I'll just do it. And he did it. And then his partner says, come on, man. You got to listen to him. He's a professional boxer. He knows what he's doing. So my student just said, hold the pad. And he said, just hold the pad. And then he hit him full force. And the guy went backwards and stepped back. He's like, oh my gosh. That's why I don't hit the other way. Because we hit like a knife. A lot of people, it's like, well, they want to hit like a sledgehammer. And I'm not saying it's not ineffective. It can be effective. But when you got a guy who's 100 pounds doing a sledgehammer against a guy who's 250 pounds, you can find it's not as effective. It becomes less effective because of when the guy gets bigger. But if you give a guy a pickaxe, it doesn't matter how big it becomes, it's still going to pierce him. And our punches are what we call piercing punches. They're penetrating. They're not there to attack a big surface area. They're there to attack a single point in that area. So if I do like this for her, like Jamie can feel this. Mm-hmm. If I do this,
oh, okay,
she feels that, and it's a big difference. And so we teach you how to focus your energy into a single point, not just throw everything you have behind a blunt object. It has to be focused. It has to be powerful. It has to be effective. And so that's really what makes us different from a lot of systems. Like I said, the one thing that I would say that, or what makes NDN different from every style, like what would you say, is we control.
Yeah,
it's control. We teach you how to control what you do, not just throw what you do. So hope that helps.
Hope that helps, brother. I know that for a lot of people that probably, dispelled a lot of curiosity. So hopefully that helped everyone out. He did say there are no Wing Chun schools in his town, unfortunately. For the beginner, what would you suggest for daily training regimens?
Punching. Just punch every day. Just practice punching. If anything, I would tell anyone if I had to teach one lesson and they can only do one thing, get the punch. Because remember, it comes down to this. Knock them out, lock them out, or get they want. So I don't care all the deflections that you learn. It means nothing if you can't hit them to stop them, to hurt them.
Yeah.
So you practice getting hits. So like I said, who needs martial arts if you learn how to make everything explode with just a touch of your finger? If you can make anything you want to explode to a million pieces, why do you need to train?
Yeah.
That's why a guy with a gun doesn't need any martial arts training. Because all he has to go, bam, and it has enough power to stop anyone. So you don't need martial arts training, so to speak, to get good.
Yeah.
It's really, in the end, your power to do the damage versus what you can take. Now, obviously, if you can make a person explode to a million pieces, but in video games, we call like a champion, a good fighter, a glass cannon. He can do a lot of damage, but he's made of glass, and you hit him, he'll just break. So obviously, we don't want to just be brittle either. So if you're one of those brittle, he can just sneeze on you, and you collapse, and that's no good. That's why you train. You train for the conditioning to get your body stronger so it can withstand pressure, and you train so you can create the pressure to do the damage. So if I had to teach you only one thing, it would be just learn how to get your strike. Because in the end, to stop a person from hitting you, it comes down to one of two things, really. The third, if they want your money, take it, let them have it. But if they want to kill you, obviously we don't want that to happen. So you have to get into the knock them out or lock them out principle of stopping them. So you either get into the grappling state, get them in the grab, choke him, break his elbow, which takes more time. Okay, if you have 2-3 people, it's not so effective. But if you can go bam, 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 and do a hit, you can do 3 hits in less than a second, you can knock everybody out, let's say, because you were conditioned to do that.
Right.
Then it's fine. So anything I would tell you, practice getting your punches out.
Yeah.
Okay. Practice getting your base, getting your 3 proof, and practice getting your hands. So it's like pow. So it's a pow. So you practice. So this way, if somebody comes at you, you go pow. You hit them in the nose. Trust me, it's gonna stop the fight.
And how do you do all that he was just talking about? Join entershaolin.com. So entershaolin.com/join. Since you're really into Wing Chun, you would want to become a junior member or above to be able to get access to all our Wing Chun and start on a No Dak Knock course as well. And go ahead and sign up for an orientation so we can talk a little bit about what your personal training goals are and make some other specifications and recommendations based on your time and availability to train. So that's how you do that. And hopefully you'll come to a seminar too. And if you become a member, you get a discount for the seminar.
And you should come, okay? Because I guarantee you, it's going to open your eyes, and then you're going to be like a lot of my students. Like they say, if you leave, I don't know what to do because I don't want to go to another school and learn inferior art. I had a student, Freddie.
Yeah.
He basically his daughter and this guy's daughter were in a soccer team together, and he wore my Kung Fu shirt, and the guys came up to him and said, "Oh yeah, I'm a Krav Maga teacher, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada." And he got him to come to his school. He said, "You should come to my school and really come in and train, and you see what we do." And so a student said, fine. He came, he said he destroyed everyone. And he's like, it's like the most advanced guys was a joke to him. They had the black belts, and he was just crushing them. He said, I was just destroying them. And I said, oh, cool, go. And then he told me he joined up. I said, why would you join up?
Because he felt good about it.
He's like, because I want to feel good about myself. Because when I come train under you, I feel like garbage. I feel like I learned nothing. But anyway, like these guys, it's like, I see it, like, you know,
right? It's all perspective.
It's all perspective. But if you come, you're going to see the difference. You're going to really see the difference. And then you're going to see when other people, you're like, oh my gosh, why would someone do that? And you're going to really see a huge difference in what we do versus what other people do. The energy control, the body connection that you get, and the feel of that, it's going to change the way you're actually going to start seeing things and doing things. So definitely, if you can come. I mean, I promise you, it's going to blow your mind. You're going to see things that you've never seen before. The perspective that we have, like, for example, we talk about nobody can ever overpower you. It's you who basically muscle him for him to do that.
Yeah.
No one can ever outmuscle you. And I can take a finger like this, and she can take her whole entire body. If I push into her, obviously, ow, that hurts. Because her whole body is stronger than my finger. But I can't learn to fight that way. I must learn to control the energy. So when she's trying to do this, she cannot. And now I'm not being stronger than her. I'm being better than her. I'm controlling the energy when I do this.
Now, obviously, there's counters for that.
Of course.
But we were trying to show you, like, the whole.
There's a counter for every count. Okay? There's a counter for every count. And counter for every count. And that's what the training is. When he can counter you, the question is, are you still going to have to counter back? Right. Or are you done because you committed energy? Right. And that's what we're training to do. Teach you how to be in control all times.
Yes. So let's see, Alberto, I kind of answered him a little bit earlier, but just real quick, he says he lives in El Paso. And we talked about how we teach online, but he also says he learned forms for Hung Gar, Shaolin Tai Chi, Bak Hua, and learned the Taoist and techniques that could help in martial arts. I never learned drills, refined skills, self-defense. What would you recommend I do to make up for the things I didn't train in? Join innershaolin.com.
Yes.
And start trading with us, because all the information that you're looking for to fill in those gaps is already at the site. I would say for you, since you already have a little bit more skill and everything, that you would want to join as a junior member or above to be able to access all the training.
And you have a 2-week trial. So
yeah. So
I guarantee you, once you go in, you're gonna
not trial, money back guarantee. So like,
yeah.
if you go in and you're just like, this really isn't what I was looking for or expecting, we'll gladly refund you. So there's no risk for you to sign up and check it out. So hopefully you do, and hopefully we'll see you inside soon. AJ says, how good is green tea and meditation for martial arts? Thanks.
Meditation is great. The word meditation means focus of thought. That's really what it is. It's emptying your mind, letting go of the stress, letting go of that stuff, and then letting your body be free of that stress. Because when your mind's mentally stressed, your body gets stressed too.
And we actually do Qigong and Tai Chi, which is like double fold awesome, because you're doing your meditation and
your mind and your body. Yeah,
you're actually working on a moving meditation and being able to get the breathing and all the benefits.
In terms of green tea, she can answer that for you.
Yeah, so green tea is really good as an antioxidant, and so it could also obviously help with repairing the body. But if you do have a caffeine intolerance or sensitivity, it would not be what I would recommend for you. There's all kinds of other non-caffeinated herbal teas that are also good for that too. So I don't know what you're looking for, or if you're fine with caffeine or not. But if you have problems with that, you can email me at support@innershaolin.com and let me know if you would like some other alternatives to green tea for that. Also eating lots of fruits and vegetables. They're filled with antioxidants and different things to repair the body and rebuild the body. So those are also all good to help with repairing and everything like that. I had a really hard bone conditioning session yesterday with my brother Hersey, and I thought for sure, because we were going hard, I thought, oh man, I'm going to be bruised from head to toe. And I do have like a tiny little bruise in a couple spots, but not like what I thought. And I attributed that primarily to what I eat, because I think if I just ate like a typical standard American diet, I would not have been able to get out of bed this morning. So that is also important. Your diet, not just like, what you're drinking, obviously is definitely part of that, but also what you're eating. So hopefully that helps you.
So Carla asks, heavy bag
or wall bag punching
or speed bag punching?
Or speed bag punching.
My answer is all.
All of them. Why not?
Okay.
Cross training.
Because it helps develop your muscles in different areas,
Yes.
and it helps develop your control and your speed. So, you know, if you look at like boxers, they do heavy bag training. They do
they don't
training,
do stew one.
They do the ball with the rope, and you know, they're all good. It's like lifting weights and saying, just bench to build your chest. No, bench, pec deck, incline, declines. They all, because it makes you more well-rounded, and that's what you want. You want to have that well-roundedness and getting the muscles used to doing all different types of motion and knowing how to feel for it and knowing how to get the energy right and get the control right behind it. So all of them are good. All of them.
Yeah. And
there's no such thing as wrong apparatus training. It's wrong training in the apparatus.
Yes.
So
everything has a benefit if you're doing it properly. Yeah. So Emaru says, I would like to invite both of you and all of us for traveling to my beloved Indian world by someday, at least together, to practice outdoor. I have no idea where that's at, but thank you in advance. If you want to, you know, send plane tickets and money to spend and stuff and give us more details, let me know. You can email me at support@enershaolin.com.
I'm guessing South America.
Maybe, yeah. Impossible to film while we practice. Yes. So we film. Absolutely. Yeah, it does sound like some of the different canyons and valleys and stuff like that. That maybe you're in
jungle,
in the Amazonas. Yeah, so you're in South. Yeah, absolutely. If you can afford to get us there and train you, we will film it. We will package it up. We'll get you DVDs, you name it, whatever you need. Just you got to have the funds to be able to make it happen because we broke. I wish I was joking, but I'm not. So we don't make as much money as a lot of people think. And what we do, we're always reinvesting back into equipment and different things like that. So we would love to travel to all kinds of places. If the means work out and the finances work out, we will definitely love to come and train you. Just email support@shaolin.com and let us know how you want to make that happen. So Nawaf says, what does martial arts system mean?
I mean, for everybody, it's different. You know, for us, it's all about control. I mean, that's the one word that I always describe what our focus is, what our goal is, and what our achievement is to be. Control. That's it. Not peace, not harmony, not balance. It's control. Because if you have control, you'll have balance. If you have control, you have peace. If you have control, you have harmony. Controlling is something that you have to be able to maintain to get all the other stuff. So, like, how do I have balance? I must control the energy behind it to maintain the balance. So the one word that best describes everything that we do is control. So martial arts system is about learn how to control. And control means your balance. Control means the energy. Control means your structure. Control means everything. So if that's the one word you're looking for us to describe, it would be control. Yeah. That's it.
Yep. And if you're curious, what is a system versus a style? Well, styles are obviously predetermined configurations of movements that people have created over time. And there's tons of styles out there. And what we do is we have a system of principles of energy and physics that you can apply to any style to enhance it. So I don't know if that's what you were looking for too, but for some reason I thought maybe someone might be curious about that. So I wanted to add that in there. Let's see. Yes. Vibin says how to block the face punch.
Oh, there's different types of face punches. There's straight, there's round, there's hooks, there's uppercut under the chin.
I was gonna say we showed some of that actually already.
So you gotta get a little more.
Yeah, what kind of face punch are we talking about? We're talking about straight line punch, a hook punch,
headbutt. You know, like any type of. It's gonna depend on the approach, and so. You got to be a little bit more specified. But in terms of, like, let's say straight punch, just remember there are two gates, okay? When someone throws a punch that's straight in front of you, there are two gates. What we call the outside gate. So she has both her arms out. This is called the outside gate out here, outside the arms. And this is called the inside gate, so inside the arms. If someone's going to throw like a punch at you in the face, the best thing I tell people is go for the strike first. If you see them coming at you, bring your arm up, go right in. Just bend at the elbow and the wrist, make like the move hand so you can see my hands like you can see how. And I just go and go right on it. If I'm on the outside, I just go like this and just shoot into the outside. Okay. If it's a round punch, you can just hook up. You can protect to make it simple, and basic. Just get your arm tight to you and just hold that and come in with that. Make your body come towards the arm and face. So you can do that. Like without getting into detail. I mean, I can show you, but there's all these details, like how to get the structure right. Because I could be like this, But I can, like I said, I can be made of paper and I can collapse. Because this could be steel, this could be steel, this is made of paper, so it's going to want to collapse. If this is steel, and this is paper, it's going to collapse. So there's a way to do that. And so to get to explain all that, I'd have to spend a lot of time breaking down. And I've done that before. I've talked about 3-proof.
That's all on the website too.
I talked about, we're not here to block it, we're here to strike it. We don't wait for the punch to come in and bring it up so it can receive the energy. We are initiating to make the attack. So there's a lot of principles behind what we do. That's why we don't defend, we attack or we counterattack. We're not here to defend the energy, we're here to attack it or counterattack.
Hey Samuel, we were not invited this year and we're having our own full seminar, primarily because this was from Samuel, who's asking if we were going to be at Eastern this year. I think he's talking about the Pittsburgh event. I'm assuming that's one of the Eastern associations. I believe.
Okay. Yeah.
But we weren't invited, and mainly we are doing our own seminars now, primarily because we want to be able to do more than just teach an hour. There's only so much that we fit an hour, and we really want to be able to work with people more individual and be able to give them a full experience of what we do. So when they leave that weekend, they have tons of tools to work on and then go back through. So if you wanted to come to one of our seminars and check it out,
there's one in November.
There is one. It's at the end of November, so it's not in conflict with that. We do our best, not to be in conflict with other people's seminars as best as we can. You can go to NRShaolin.com/seminar and check it out. It's in the Washington, D.C. area. So I don't know where you're coming in from, but not too much of a difference, possibly from where you're going from Pittsburgh there. So
yeah, we're not coming back to Eastern.
Yeah.
And it's nothing hard feeling. So it's not like, oh, did you have a fallout? No, we didn't have a fallout.
It's just we have a different perspective of what we want to be able to bring to the table. And we really want to be able to work with more people on an individual basis. And it's really hard to do that at a seminar like that. You got 1 hour, or actually I think 45 minutes now is how much the individual gets. And we really want to be able to work with everyone individually to make sure that they're getting the technique. So when they go home, they're doing it right. So that's primarily the big reason. It's just we're doing our own full seminars now. And so that's what we're doing. So I hope you can make it to one. We'll definitely be interested in seeing you. And if you haven't checked out our membership site, Samuel, your name looks familiar. So I don't know if it's from here or if it's from the website, but you can go to NRShaolin.com/join. So let's see, do we have any other questions? Let me just double check everything. Scott says, people ask me a lot when I wear my hoodie what Nodak knot is. Then they compliment how much they love the hoodie. Well, tell them, thank you, CJG, we designed that. Oh, okay. I know who you are now. Yes, brother. So, yeah.
My ribs still hurt.
I know you are. Seafood Larry just told me who you are. So, hey, brother, we miss seeing you. That was awesome. That was really fun seminar.
Thanks for the help.
Yeah, that was really cool. But yeah, we'd love to see you come to one of our full seminars. I think you would understand why we're doing our full seminars versus going to Pittsburgh. It's just so much more that we can teach a person and train with them. It's really, really fun. Joseph says, I'll carry your luggage. Awesome. Well, we're going to have a lot of luggage. So, come on over. We're going to need lots of help. We got lots of equipment this year.
Tom to the bottom south.
Oh, okay. So Scott says, thank you, Stevie, so much for the explanation. I was training wrong. I was doing more of a Tom Sao. All right. Good to know. And easy to make that mistake as well. So Jim says, okay, we answered Jim. We took care of him. Let me just make sure everyone else is good to go. I believe we have everyone on here. Let me double check. Marno says, are there any Shaolin trainers in South Africa that you might know of? I'm sure there might be, but if you're asking if they do the same thing as us, most likely not, because, well, this is it. We have people ask us all the time, like, hey, is there another Nodak knot school I can go to or whatever? This is it. That's why we also have the online training, because we do want people around the world to be able to access that. And then he says, what is the minimum practice time to be able to do the basics of Shaolin Kung Fu? Depends on the individual.
I would say, like, if you're going to practice, depending on the technique.
Mm-hmm.
Like, personally, practice your punches more than anything else, because that's really what's going to stop a guy from attacking you. And I tell my students in the beginning, start with 200 punches a day and work up to 1,000.
Yeah.
I have a student that I told him to get a telephone book, and I said, just punch it every day to 1,000 punches, and he did. And his strikes are now so hard that when he hits people, they drop. And that's really what it comes down to in the end. Like all these, like I said, all these deflections, all this stuff, it's eye candy. It's great to look at. But if you can't do the damage that you're supposed to do, then it doesn't mean anything, okay? Because if they don't get stopped by that hit, then they're going to wind up stopping you with their hit. And so you have to learn how to get your power up. That's really what you're trying to do. MMA, Muay Thai, it's about hurting the guy. In the end, you know, you're doing it so you can do so much damage that the guy can't continue anymore.
Yeah.
And so that's what you're training to do. You're training to get your power up. So that way, when you do make the impact, it's going to make the effect. So train for the punch.
Yeah.
Train for the strikes. If you're going to do the first thing, and really train that a lot, all the time. So it's something you do without thought. That's what you want to do.
Yeah, and we had another person asking, Brutal Monkey says, how many hours a week should I train? You know, this just depends on what time you have available. And it's not about how many hours you train, it's about how good you train in that time.
Yeah, you know, there's people who train 8 hours a day and they lean their shoulders all the time. So it's about proper training.
It's about proper training.
And how many hours a week? I used to train 4 hours a day, you know, but I train by feel, not just train just to throw my arms at anything. I train how to get the connection, to get the body to feel that connection, to get the timing, to get the structural integrity, to do all that stuff. So, you know, you have to train right, because you can spend, you know, 10 hours a day training wrong, throwing your shoulders, leaning, you know, throwing your weight. And yeah, you can get good, but that's going to be based on your size. Someone who's twice your size, now you're going to find that it's not going to be as effective. Yeah. And you don't want to be like that. You want to train to where it doesn't matter how big he is, how strong he is. The only thing that you would have to fear is how fast he is. And that's what the training is. Because if you can move faster than you can see and respond, then you're going to wind up getting hit, right? So, like, how do I slow the guy down then? Well, what you do is you keep a certain distance, keep further away, and that's going to make it longer for him to hit you. And so there's all these tactics that you do, you know?
Yeah.
But train to whatever's comfortable for you, but train really to get the feel of what you're doing. You
want to train focus too. Yeah. You know, if you're like all distracted and stuff, how good is your training really going to be that day?
Feel your movements. Don't just throw your movements. Dancers don't just move and dance. They feel dance. They feel music to move. That's what you have to do. You have to feel your movement in what you do. If you don't feel it and you're just throwing it, you just feel yourself just throwing everything you got, but not feeling the energy of what you do in the connection, then you're wasting a lot of time. You want to find that connection. You want to find that structural integrity behind what you do. You want to feel the connection in your from your feet, from the ground actually, to your striking point. So you're training to get the feel of what you do. When I hit heavy bags, you know, when I was younger, I would just go like and go, bomb, bomb, you know, and just throw what I can.
It, right?
Right. And as I got to understand, now I don't throw a lot, but I hit harder because I have a better focus. For example, I'm not hitting her, so don't be excited. But I'm not going like this and just throw everything I can, just to throw harder. Now I learn how to get that to my wrist. So when I hit, it's getting this root, getting this and getting the energy. She can feel that, and I'm doing a lot less energy.
Rib right there.
The best example I say is like it's somebody who had a knife and they're just going like this. And this is the point, and obviously this is a sharp blade, and they're just going. And they're not really hitting with the blade or the tip.
Scratch it up a little bit.
You might feel the blade, but you're not cutting. You're not getting cut. You're not getting stabbed because I'm just going like this and like this. And I get go harder and faster, and yeah, you can feel it. Versus me going a lot less energy, just going boom and getting the point where I needed to. So you're trying to train to get that focus, to get that energy right. That's really what you want to train for. So if you're gonna train, if I'm gonna tell you, train to get your strike, but feel the strike out. Feel the if you feel any recoil, for example, if I'm punching her and I go and I can feel the recoil, then I'm not doing it right. I have to hit where when I hit, she moves, but nothing comes back to me. Nothing should come back to me. If I feel it come back to me, I have a weak point somewhere. I'm either leaning, I'm throwing my shoulders, I'm not driving my 3-proof, I have a slouch, whatever it is. I can't say because everybody's different in what they're going to do. But you're not doing the principles that we're teaching to do. And
yes, structural integrity is super, super important. And, you know, one thing I tell people all the time is even if you don't have 5, 10 hours, whatever, crazy number you think it is that you need to train every single week for dedicated, extra learning and practicing with someone or solo, our principles are things that apply to movement. So you can effectively be training all throughout the day when you're walking, when you're opening a door, when you're sitting down, when you're driving, when you're cooking dinner, or whatever else it is that you do. If you dance, if you do any kind of sports or anything like that, you can take the principles that you're learning and apply it to your everyday movement. So you can literally be effectively training all day. That's how I've gotten as good as I have in a little bit of time. And I'm not bragging at all. Like I'm like so humbled by it, but I have people all the time that I have so much more training than I do. And they're like, wow, you were really good for how little you've been in. And I'm very humbled by that, but it's because I have good teachers. I'm training and learning right. And because I'm also applying those principles all throughout my every single day life. I'm always doing self-corrections to myself. Are my shoulders down? Is my energy in the right place? Is my balance off? Am I rooted? All these different things. You can even be practicing stuff in the grocery line, y'all. Okay, like, so there's just no excuses. You can get proper training in and work it around your busy schedule by implementing it as a lifestyle versus just something you do separate from your life. Gary says, what are the Shaolin animals? Good question. We'll talk about how you can get access to that.
Tiger, leopard, snake, dragon, crane.
Yep.
There you go.
And if you want to get access to our 5 animals, we have exclusive content on that on our Patreon channel. So you can
we found there, not even into Shaolin.
That's it. As we decided, that's where we're going to put it. And that helps build up our funds and stuff for Inner Shaolin so we can get more equipment. God willing, we can eventually hire some extra hands on deck to help us to be able to do more of this stuff and get more of the tech stuff taken care of behind the scenes. You can go to innershaolin.com/Patreon. That's Patreon. And go check it out. You can get started for those $5 a month, but if you want the animals, you have to be at $10 a month, but still extremely very affordable. That's way less than $1 a day. So very, very easy. Just as says, hire me to carry your luggage. Well, if I'm making enough money that I can hire someone to like carry my luggage, bro, you got it. It's yours. But before that, I'm hiring a camera crew and a videographer and a photographer and all that stuff. So it's going to be a little bit, Joseph, but hang tight, okay? Just don't hold your breath. All right. So Stan says, he actually said a couple things. Where did he go? So I have questions about takedown. Let's see, where did that start? Okay, so like striking, have principles of rooted body structural integrity. Is there anything about the takedown to take down someone big very easily? Yeah, we have all kinds of stuff on that on the site.
The basic principle is offsetting the body and taking away the base. That's really how you take down someone down. Offsetting the body, take away the base. So, and our website shows, and for us to do this, it's about point control. It's always about point control. It's not about throwing someone down. It's about attacking the point and they want to go down.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what you want to put in your mindset. I don't want to take someone like drag them and pull them to the ground. I want to affect the point and they go, oh, the only relief of pressure is I could go down. That's the only way I can relieve pressure. So they'll go down because of that. So we are not trying to force someone to the ground. We got to learn how to attack the point and they'll want to go down.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and yeah, you can take anybody big and easy as long as you control the point.
That's actually what our whole system's about. It's not
point
about,
control.
Yeah. And it's about making sure that someone that's smaller like me can deal with some like brute guy trying to attack me and not have to worry about, oh man, I'm not stronger than this.
It comes down to getting the point control training. You know, once your body starts breaking structure and you start losing your control, then you're lost. You have to train so you can stay in control of what you do and learn how to apply what you do no matter what they're doing against you. You know, like in the beginning, jiu-jitsu beat all these styles because they made a boxer get away from boxing by taking him to the ground. He didn't know how to box anymore. You know, a guy who's a karate, you take him to the ground, he doesn't know how to fight the ground, you can't do that anymore.
Right.
Now today, everybody does MMA, so now like, oh, okay, you can take me to the ground, I've learned how to fight on the ground too. And I do ground and pound, so now it changes, you know? So, but really that's what you're trained to do. You train how to handle no matter what comes at you, how to maintain your control and still play the way you're supposed to train and use it against your opponent. Okay, so that's what you're training to do. You have to train so you can keep your technique or your discipline or whatever you want to call it still in play under whatever amount of pressure.
Yep. Yep. So Mr. Coffee says training everyday action. That sounds cool. It is, and it just helps you be better. It helps you to just have less strain on your body, less stress on your body because you're moving properly throughout your everyday life. So it requires less energy to do your daily actions and your daily activities, which is awesome because then you have more energy to do other stuff that you love. So if you want to check out what we do, if you're new to what we do, Mr. Coffee, you can go to innershaolin.com/ebook and get our free intro course and our free ebook that explains a little bit more about the principles that I'm talking about that you can apply to your everyday life. Ian says, skip your Kung Fu for one day and your Kung Fu skips you for 1 week. You know, They have that saying, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. And that's true no matter what. That's why sometimes you'll see people that are like, oh yeah, I got a black belt. And you're like, oh yeah, you still training? Like, nah. And you're like, well, how long ago was that? 20 years. Sure, they might remember some of the movements and the different techniques, but will they have that effectiveness and the accuracy as they once did? No, they're going to have to retrain to get that.
Best analogy. It's like riding a bicycle. Once you learn it, you never forget it. But when you're a kid, you ride all the time. You do pop-up wheelies, you ride with no hands.
Jumping over things.
But if you haven't run for 20 years, you're not going to be able to do that stuff. You can still get the basics of riding the bicycle, but you're not going to ride without your hands. You're not going to be able to do pop-up wheelies and jump off hills and spins and stuff like that. Those are the things that you have to keep doing to get your body to be able to keep remembering that stuff. You can't just not do it and have it. You will lose things, but the basics, like feeling your balance, you'll never lose that. But how to control that balance under different scenarios, that's what you'll lose. And so that's why you have to train certain things all the time. Yeah. But I always say, train your strikes. Don't ever lose the strikes. You can lose everything else, but don't lose your ability to strike.
Yeah, because that's what you really need to know. You know, someone's coming at you, you need to know the strikes. And honestly, like, why would you go through all that effort and all that money to get a black belt or whatever, you know, you do, you know, in whatever style that you do, to just stop? Again, this is not meant to be just something like, oh, it's an achievement, I've conquered it, and now I'm done. You're always learning and growing. And I dare to say that even when you get into a black belt situation, your training really has just begun. Just then. And if
some people will quit because they don't want to do it no more. And that's fine.
That's fine.
That's fine. That's, you know, everybody has their reasons to do things.
But if you really want to be good and you want to be healthy and vital into your old years, then, you know, you definitely want to keep going with that and keep doing that. So Rick says, how difficult is it to go from brown belt and Okinawan to another type?
To a type of what? And that's
I think another style.
And it's not difficult at all. And the reason why is because as martial arts, we're always learning, right? And so we're always growing. So you're just growing. Who cares what the belt is? That's just something man made up.
Yeah. Don't worry
about it. You go from what you do and you go, okay, I'm going to learn grappling. You're going to start from the state one, you know, learn how to stay on the ground, and you're going to build.
You just need to be open-minded, you know what I mean?
It's not difficult.
Refine what you're doing. When
you start from the bases, and you're good at what you do, and you're going to grow from it. So don't worry about, I have to start all over. No, just know that you're training and you're always going to grow. That's the whole point. We talked about earlier, I don't know when you got it, but the goal is to always grow. You know, 5%, 10%, 15%, 20%, whatever. And you're always going to improve. You're always going to get better. You're not starting from scratch. You're just adding another layer. That's what you're doing. So it's not difficult at all. And now if you're going from, I'm learning how to punch only, and then I'm very inflexible and my legs are very fat and heavy, and it might be difficult to learn how to kick. Right. But you start off small. You start small. You don't kick to the head. You kick to the shins. As you get comfortable, more flexible, more control of your muscles, you kick to the knee, and you kick to the thigh, and you kick to the waist, and you kick to the ribs, shoulders, head, and that's how you grow. It's all about learning how to just adapt to energy and learn how to find the control and the balance of the energy, no matter what style you do. Because I always say a punch is a punch, a punch is a punch, okay? In the end, when you're punching, whether you do a boxer's punch, a Muay Thai punch, a Wing Chun punch, a karate punch, it doesn't matter. It's really what matters is the energy behind that. And I talked about structuring your arms before. It doesn't matter if your arms are like this, like this, like this, like this. It doesn't matter. The question is the balance behind it. For example, if I'm here and I go like this, so I look like I'm balanced, I look like I'm bleeding out to my side. Now, let's say I'm here. See the arm? She pushes in. So I look like I'm bleeding aside, I look like I'm driving right to her. So again, it's always about finding the control and the balance behind what you do. And I don't care what you call it. You can call it Japanese style, Chinese style, you call it American style, British style. You know, it doesn't matter. I don't care what you call it. That's what man made up. Energy is universal. It doesn't require what man says. It is something that God made these principles and rules that will never change, in what they call universal laws, right? Universal laws are basically the same here on this planet as it is to Pluto or Neptune. I know Pluto's not a planet anymore, so I'm just saying out there. Another solar system, the rules stay the same. Weight is not universal law. It's based on gravity, right? But mass is. It's universal law. Your mass is here. No matter where you go in the universe, it's the same mass. Density is the same, but weight is not. So energy principles are universal laws. It doesn't matter what style you do. The rules still apply. It doesn't matter if you do karate, Muay Thai. It doesn't matter if you do jiu-jitsu or judo or kung fu, or it doesn't matter. Still energy. Energy's not gonna go, oh, you're Chinese, I gotta change my principle because you're Chinese art. Oh, this guy's a Japanese art. Oh, I'll change the principle now. Energy won't want to go the path of resistance. It wants to go the shoulders. No. The nature of energy wants to go the path of resistance. It doesn't matter what style you do. The way your body works is gonna work the same. It's just modifications, like 0 through 9. It doesn't matter whether you do 5 plus 5 is 10 or 20 divided by 2 is 10. You're doing different, method of going about it. One's adding, one's dividing, but still, the principle's still the same. It's still the same no matter what you do. You do fractions, it comes out the same. Saying 6:45 and a quarter to 7 is the same thing. It's just you go about it differently.
Yeah.
So you want to learn my system, not style.
Yes.
There's a difference.
Yes, absolutely. And then you can apply it to anything that you want to.
The system can be applied to any style. Mm-hmm. Style is defined by how you want to move. System is principles that you go by. And that's, you can piggyback that system to any style. That's why we say, don't let style define you. Let energy refine you. That's what NDN is all about. Energy refinement.
Hey, Brutal Monkey, I see you on now, and we're going to be in DC again. Well, we're going to be there at the end of this month, November 30th through December 2nd. I just sent a link in there for everyone to see. If you're on Facebook, I already put it in the chat. You should have seen all those different things. But in short, you go to shaolin.com/seminar, click on the DC event, and then all the details are there. At the very bottom is where you can register and reserve your spots. And then Albert said, point control training, that's all in the site. Also, Stan says, my demands, some takedown techniques. We don't really do a lot of our takedown, ground fighting type of stuff on YouTube. We keep that exclusively for our members. So if you join our site. Because
it's very unique. Okay. Yeah. A lot of people do wind chun, so we can show wind chun stuff.
We can't be giving out all our secret sauce. You know what I mean? Recipes. We can't be doing that, giving out all of our
Can't be telling that we put ketchup and mayo and mustard as our secret sauce.
With some pickles or something, right? I think that's what the one McDonald's secret sauce is. But yeah, so we there's a reason that we don't do that. One, we need to make money to be able to do all the things that we do. Obviously, this is what we do for a living. We're not off, doing other different things. Martial arts is what we do. Running the site, doing these videos, doing this training, all this stuff is what we do. So there's just certain things that we're just not going to be sharing on YouTube or on these webinars for free. Hopefully you guys and gals can respect that. I'm sure you guys and gals get paid for whatever you do, so you can provide for your families. It's just the same. So there's certain things we want to keep just for our family members. You can go to entershaolin.com/join, and you want to be a junior member or above to get access to the ground fighting. Master your smile. This is from Menakshi. Master your smile and looks like a Jackie Chan master. Thanks again for her too. Oh, you're welcome. Stan says, when I kick the wall, yes, when I kick the wall, a chamber kick while doing knocking door move, I feel it back at me. I guess you're saying you're getting some feedback. Am I doing it right? And could you show that? If you're getting feedback, the answer is always no, you're not doing it right.
Okay, just remember when you kick, it is our nature to want to lean into it because we get forward energy one of two ways. We either lean into it, throw a weight into it, or we can root and sink. So you want to learn to sink and root. Okay, so a lot of times when you kick and you feel the feedback, is because you're kicking, you're going like this, and you're leaning, so you're getting that feedback. The key is to drop your height and then use your ankle and your knee at the same time, so you get the kick. So it's like, so you see I'm sinking. See, I sink a little bit, and I get my power to come out from that. So the other thing that you get feedback is, like I said, because you're leaning, you're making too long of a movement, you're pushing, so you're gonna get a long feedback. The more you stick into that point, and get the energy, the longer it takes for you, the more your feedback you're going to get. Okay, so which is what we call the impact value. Impact value is the amount of energy you get before you get a feedback. So our goal is to get all the energy in and out before that energy comes back to us. The best analogy I can say is think about a hot pan. If you were to touch it and hold it, you'd feel the burn. But you would feel the burn. Why? Is because it takes time for heat to travel, right? And so if it takes, let's say it takes a second for heat to travel from the hot iron to your finger. If you're there for less than a tenth of a second, it won't have time to hurt you. But if you hold it for 2 seconds, it's going to burn you. And that's the same thing like kicking. The longer you put and the more force you put into it before it retracts, then you're going to get more feedback coming back to you. And that's why you can feel that balance loss. So when you kick, like I said, it is a fast rooted kick. It's just, and then you're done. So you just like that. And a lot of people, when we see someone coming at us, we want to throw a weight because we're trying to go against that force. the best analogy I say is think of punching someone as hard as you can. A lot of people go like this and they put everything they can to try to. But I said, here's a knife, stab them, with it. They go like this. Their body mechanic changes because their focus changes. Because when they think hitting someone hard, they think of getting everything behind it. But when you have a knife, they think of putting everything into it. And when you hit and kick, it's the same. Put everything into it, not everything behind it. And it changes the way you would really move and the way you affect things. When we kick, when people get hit by it, it feels like a knife stabbing them. It doesn't feel like someone pushing them. It feels like as it happens, as you walk, it's gonna be like, oh, and this is what happens. Whereas if you hit someone hard, they can withstand it because it doesn't pierce. It pushes. So it's like, I'm not hitting her. But if I do this, she can go like, she can withstand it. I go like this, her body crumbles from it. So and it's the same idea. When you kick, make sure you're not throwing your weight against them. Make sure you get your root, make sure you get your focus, snap from the ankle and the knee, and get that sinking from your ankle and knee on the standing leg too. And learn to just back out back real quick and get that snap. The acceleration comes from the ankle and the knee. So that's what you're gonna do.
Yeah. So Rick, if you want to learn from us, brother, just go to entershaolin.com/join and get signed up. And he says, I love it because it's good for my mind. Yes, martial arts, Kung Fu is great for the mind and just helping you keep young and active and always learning and growing. Jim Johnson says, I've been offered the same rank in another style. Always went back to the beginning of the new system, amazed at what you already share. And that's good. And that shows humility and humbleness and the willingness to learn. So that is awesome. Keep that up. That is great to hear. And everyone, again, if you want to attend the seminar, honestly, you won't regret it, I promise. Just go to entershaolin.com/seminar. Make sure to choose the one for Washington, D.C. All the details are there. At the bottom of the page is where you register. Make sure you get your hotel reserved by today so you can get that discount. And that's it.
And you want to come. You want to come because I'm going to tell you right now when you're going to feel the energy is how to strike. Like we emphasize a lot of it. That's why this seminar we're focusing on getting your power, getting your hits, learn how to get that. Because really, if you're going to walk away from the seminar, I want you to walk away knowing how to get your power right and get your power and your energy right. Because I can teach you all these intercepting points and stuff like that. And if you can't hurt them, then it's just a waste of time.
Yeah. So
many people go to seminars and learn all these advanced movements. I guarantee you, when they walk out the door, a majority of them can't even remember what they learned. Because they're learning how to move. They're not learning to understand how to move. They've learned how to mimic. They didn't learn how to experience. And so we're trying to get you to understand it. We're trying to get you to really feel what you do so you can grow from that. Not just, oh, I followed him. I got to go a few more seminars because I can't really, don't understand what he did. He did something and I did it. And when I did it to my friend, I had a hard time doing it. We're going to teach him how so it's not going to be the case. We're going to teach you, oh, I had a time. Wait, oh, I know what I did wrong. I raised my shoulder. Oh, I leaned. So you go back to your principles and you find that, okay, I do it like, oh, yeah, now it works. And so that's what we want to really get you to do. So when you come to the seminar, you're going to see it's going to be a huge difference. You're going to find that it's going to be very, very, very good because it's not just you learning it, it's you understanding it, you experience it, and you grow from it.
So Marcel says, I have the power, I am Batman. Well, come on, Batman, get to the seminar. Let's go. All right, guys and gals, we went way over our time. We answered a bunch of questions, but if something comes up between now and next Friday, email support@entershaolin.com, and we will make sure it's taken care of next webinar, or if it's something that you need to answer right away, obviously we will take care of you. I hope that you all really enjoyed this and had a blessed time. If you came in towards the end, feel free to watch the replay at youtube.com/EnterChai. I'll also make sure that it is in the weekly update for those of you that follow along and are on our email list. You'll get that later on today as well. I hope everyone has a great weekend, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for joining and watching.
Everyone.